Okay, I think that's close enough. Who ordered the weather? Boy, it's a beautiful weather. Thank you. This was a fantastic day, and I want to thank you all for joining us here, Terre Haute, Indiana, one of my favorite towns. We did this a year ago, and we had the same draw, and I appreciate you all for coming out. First, I want to introduce myself. I'm the DNR Director, Rob Carter. I live right next door in Brazil, Indiana. This event, we did this a year ago, like I said, to kick off the Healthy Rivers Initiative, and we did it just up the road here in Terre Haute. We had a very, very good crowd, energetic people, and we're here today to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of that event. I want to thank a couple of people before we get started. I want to thank first Rick Berger from Duke Energy for being a sponsor. Rick, where are you at? Thank you, Rick. Also, the other sponsor is the Wabash River Heritage Corridor Commission. We got some of the members there. Could you raise your hand, please? We have a big supporter here in Terre Haute, Mayor Duke Bennett. Thank you, Mayor. Also, very supportive of our initiatives here in Vigo County are the 3 county commissioners, Mike Cioli, Paul Mason, and Judy Anderson. Are they here? I seen Mike a minute ago. Thank you for your support. Also want to introduce another big supporter in the state legislature, Bob Heaton. Where's Bob at? Thank you, Bob. And for hosting hosting us here at the park, Eddie Bird. Where's Eddie at? I see him back here. Thank you, Eddie. 2 years ago, a couple miles north of here, we gathered for the announcement of the largest land conservation initiative in Indiana's history, the Healthy Rivers Initiative. And today we're here to celebrate our accomplishments as we close on our 2nd year. This project has been a great partnership, and it's taken a lot of hard work. DNR staff and all of our partners, NRCS and the Nature Conservancy, Ducks Unlimited, several of them, just to name a few, but we appreciate all your support. This could not have been possible without the leadership of my boss, and it's been a true pleasure and honor and privilege to serve him these past 7 years as DNR Director. One of the things that you don't hear a lot about is his passion for conservation, and I think that's definitely going to be a hallmark of his administration. And I'm so grateful to have worked for him. I'm going to go ahead and introduce Governor Mitch Daniels. Thank you.
They gave me this thing. I don't know who I'm broadcasting to. I think I'm talking this one so I know you can hear. Well, what a beautiful sight you are, and if you weren't, I'd be facing that way, because that's about as pretty a sight as is available anywhere in the state of Indiana. And thank you all for coming out to enjoy it with us. I just really am here to add a word of profound gratitude to everyone who was named, and many who haven't been, for all you do and have done for so long to make certain that we pass along in better shape than we found it the natural beauty of this state. And we are active all over the state in ways that we hope will honor that responsibility of stewardship. But there's no place where we have anything more exciting than what's going on right here. To John Muchner, Max Miller, the folks from the Wabash Riverscape Wetlands Committee, you've been leaders and given us so much inspiration and so many good ideas for how to move forward. I must honestly tell you that until just a few years ago, I didn't have any idea how unique some of what we're doing is. I thought it was just, to me, we were just doing what came naturally, so to speak. But now we're hearing from people in other places who are really appreciative, and in some cases, I think, envious of what is going on in Indiana. And they know about the Healthy Rivers Initiative. They know specifically about the Wabash River Corridor, and they know about Goose Pond, and they look at these things not merely as prudent and interesting steps by one state, but as actions of broader regional, maybe even national significance. And so I hope you're all really proud of what you are doing and what's going to happen as we complete this project, Muscatatuck Bottoms, and as we really ramp up our Bicentennial Nature Trust. Just moving through the crowd, I ran into 3 different people who brought ideas forward for our new Bicentennial Nature Trust, and Godspeed to all of you. I hope others of you will be encouraging friends around here and in other parts of the state to come up with the most promising conservation ideas you can, to bring people together in the way that folks in this endeavor are so great at, and then to appeal successfully for the resources we have put up there. Let me just close by observing that one thing I have come to really love about this aspect of what we do, on top of all the obvious reasons that we find it gratifying, is I don't know an activity in which government gets involved which brings people together better than this. Every single one of these big projects I've mentioned, every one of any size, really turns into a partnership in which different groups, individuals come together and make something good happen. And we need more things like that. And on the other side of all the changes and all the actions that we've tried to take to make Indiana a better state, this is one that no one disagrees with. Now, some folks haven't thought about it before, some folks haven't been active before, but when they hear about a project like this, they instinctively support it. And so I hope that as we keep developing momentum and keep bringing more and more people into the world of conservation, we know it's the right thing to do for the future generations, and it's a really good way to bring unity and common purpose to our state. Thank you all very much for being here.
Thank you, Governor. We are very fortunate to have a couple of our federal partners here today, and very honored to have Charlie Woolley, the Deputy Director of Region 3, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. And Charlie's been a great friend and a good partner, and very supportive of this initiative.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm absolutely honored to be here. I'm Charlie Woolley. I'm the Deputy Regional Director for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service located up in Minneapolis. And I want to thank you all for coming today, and I want to thank the invite that the Fish and Wildlife Service received to help come and celebrate this wonderful occasion. And I also want to thank the Governor for making this project a priority, and thanks to all the partners who are so critical in the success of this initiative. We've worked with Governor Daniels now for 7.5 years within the Fish and Wildlife Service on various activities here in Indiana. And certainly, the Healthy Rivers Initiative is extremely important and a great example of conservation leadership right here in your backyard. We've also worked very closely with the Governor on the Goose Ponds fish and wildlife area and the acquisition down there over the years. And recently, we worked very closely with the Governor and Rob's staff on a land exchange involving Camp Atterbury that benefited National Guard and Fish and Wildlife all at the same time. So I can tell you, from 7 years of personal experience working with your administration, Governor Daniels, that he practices what he preaches. He's out on the landscape working with fellow partners. We're a prime example of that. The constituents here in Indiana benefit from that kind of partnership. Now, we're very proud within the Department of Interior to work with our local partners on 101 America's Great Outdoors projects scattered across the country. And based on feedback from the public, 2 projects in each state were selected, and we coupled with the state of Indiana on the Healthy Rivers Initiative to work in America's Great Outdoor themes. In addition to the Wabash project here, the Department of Interior is also working on a second America's Great Outdoors project in Indiana. And that project is focused on improving water trail access at Indiana Dunes National Lakeshore along southern Lake Michigan. America's Great Outdoors is all about connecting people like you with the wonderful outdoor spaces that this country has to offer. It's about encouraging outdoor activity, improving our natural land and water resources, and creating new ways to experience America's great natural resources. In Indiana, the Wabash Restoration accomplishes all these themes. We currently have 2 acquisition projects in the Wabash River Sugar Creek corridor, totaling approximately 1,000 acres and involving $2.6 million of wildlife and sport fish restoration funds through the Fish and Wildlife Service Midwest Regional Office. Closing on these properties should occur sometime this year. Our Indiana Private Lands Office is working very closely with Eli Lilly and Company on a wetland restoration demonstration project in Vermilion County through the Partners for Fish and Wildlife program. Earthwork on this 24-acre wetland restoration project was completed last month. On behalf of Jeff Kiefer, who runs our Indiana Partners Wildlife Office here in Indiana, located over in Bloomington, I want to thank you for the valued partnership that has been exhibited on this project. We are encouraged by the success that we're all realizing, and we look forward to continuing our collaboration as we move forward with restoration efforts on the Wabash River and in other parts of Indiana. Thank you. It's my distinct pleasure to introduce Jane Hardesty, and Jane is the State Conservationist for the Natural Resource Conservation Service.
Oh my God, can you believe this? This is why Indiana is the very best state in the nation, not just because of what's behind us, but because of all of you. I tell you what, it is an honor to be here today, and definitely want to say a big thank you to Governor Daniels for his vision and commitment to one of the largest partnership restoration and preservation projects ever undertaken in the state of Indiana. I have been all over the country, and I can guarantee you, not only do we not just have a governor who is envied by everyone across this country, but we also have a partnership that is envied by everyone across this country, and that is something to be very proud of. Through this program, we've had the opportunity to positively affect thousands of acres of land for the benefit of wildlife, water and air quality, flood protection, recreation, and much more, while at the same time improving the quality of life for all Hoosiers. Projects such as this do not come without tremendous hard work and dedication. So I want all the employees of all the partnership, particularly DNR, NRCS, Nature Conservancy, Soil and Water Conservation Districts, just raise your hand so everybody can see. These are the folks who are the boots on the ground, who go knock on doors, talking to landowners to make this happen. This project really fits us as one of the federal partners because our mission is helping people help the land. And that's exactly what's happened here. What we brought to the table is a very successful voluntary program called the Wetlands Reserve Program, and also the Wetland Reserve Enhancement Program. This is where it helps landowners to protect, restore, and enhance the original hydrology, native vegetation, and natural topography of eligible lands. It also helps to restore and protect the functions and value of wetlands in the agricultural landscape. It also helps to achieve the national goal of no net loss wetlands and to improve general environment of the country. It permanently protects wetlands through conservation easements. Now, over the last 20 years, this program, we have had opportunities to work with landowners where they have put into the easements anywhere from 2 acres up to 26,000 acres. So it's a very successful program in which it really helps to put land under easements, a lot of times next to state or federal properties, and create corridors so that we truly enhance the wildlife habitat. In Indiana, we have nearly 9,000 acres under this program in the Wabash and Muscatatuck project. And in Indiana right now, we have over 58,000 acres in this program. I also want to say in this partnership, Barb Simpson, where are you? Barb was with the Indiana Walleye Federation. You are so short. Raise your hand. A little woman, but very scary. With the Indiana Walleye Federation, again, another true partner who stepped up to the plate, and we entered into a contribution agreement with them, and they help promote WRP, recruit landowners, identify barriers that we needed to work with, and to provide workshops out there. And we also, as my wonderful employees, we're out there providing direct technical assistance to landowners and doing monitoring to make sure that what's being done is kept within the intent of the program. We're also very glad to work with Jeff Kiefer. You know, I don't care what they say about him, he's not a bad guy. And Jeff, in working with Americans Great Outdoors and being able to get this project included in that, is only going to, again, put Indiana on the map. So we look at the science, and we are very proud of the tools that we use. And in closing, HRI has been successful and have positively transformed the land and the area because of enthusiastic landowners and the strong partnership of those here today. So to all of you, I say thank you and job well done. Now, I want to introduce this next gal, Mary McConnell. She's Executive Director for the Nature Conservancy here in Indiana. And we have an amazing partnership. And we always like to share, but we like to kind of keep things equal. So, Mary, if you'd come up, and the governor, if you'd come up. When this was announced 3 years ago, we were all so excited, but I wasn't able to attend. And Mary was so excited that she said, "Governor, I could just kiss you on the cheek." And he said, "Okay, you can do that." Well, this is a partnership now, girl. And I think I deserve my equal time. So we're going to both give this man a kiss on the cheek because he's just kind of special. So, with that.
Oh, damn. Eat your hearts out, everybody.
A little hotter now. How do you follow Jane Hardesty? I always hate being the one after her at the podium. But you know, the wonderful thing about the Healthy Rivers Initiative and the Wabash River, you know, everybody in the state of Indiana knows the Wabash River. You know, it might start in Ohio and it ends up down where at the confluence of the Ohio at the Illinois border, but it's Indiana's river, and it's important to us for so many different reasons. You know, it's central to our economy and our well-being for the state of Indiana. Nearly 700,000 Hoosiers live within 15 miles of the Wabash River. 72% of Indiana counties get their drinking water from the Wabash and the rivers and streams that feed into it. So it's not just for recreational opportunities and the habitat, which are critically important, but it's an economic driver for the state of Indiana, which makes this initiative so important. And something that no one said yet, how many acres, Nick Heinzelman, how many acres have we protected in the last 2 years?
9,000.
9,000 acres have been protected. That's quite extraordinary. But everyone's talked about the partnership, and it really, and I just want to reiterate, because not every state, organizations, and agencies can work together like we do in Indiana. Indiana is so unique, and we are so blessed because we all work together so well. And it's USDA, it's the NRCS that Jane leads. It's the Indiana State Department of Agriculture has been active here. It's the Indiana Soil and Water Conservation Districts. They're the unsung heroes, I think, that are out there working on the ground to make things happen. It's the Indiana Department of Natural Resources. It's the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. It's the city of Terre Haute and the counties and the communities up and down this river that make this so important. And the Nature Conservancy is proud to be a partner of the Healthy Rivers Initiative. The other group of unsung heroes that you probably don't know about is this project has caused the philanthropic community to step up to the plate. And there's been lots and lots of other money that's come in from the philanthropic community. And I just want to talk about a few of them. The Alcoa Foundation put in $300,000 for this partnership. The Nina Mason Pulliam Charitable Trust, $180,000. Vectren Corporation, $150,000. The Walton Family Foundation, not even here in Indiana, but in Arkansas, $150,000. Duke Energy, $100,000. So this really brings the corporate world together, it brings the philanthropic world together, it brings agencies, it's just quite remarkable. But the other unsung heroes are the landowners, the people that have stepped up to the plate and say, we want to see this property protected, and we realize what this is about. And so they're the people that if you meet someone that has sold an easement or has been involved in this, please thank them, because this is a big vision and it's going to take a long time to complete this, and they're the ones that are really making it happen. So thank them if you see them. You know, we're a small player in a big initiative, and we're just really proud to play that role. But if we're going to make this vision happen, we have to transcend the vision of Governor Daniels into the next administration and into the next administration, because this is a 95-mile stretch of the river that we want to see protected, and that will take a long time. But I tell you, we're here for the long term, and everybody here is really making it happen. So thank you so much, and I'd like to turn it back over to Rob Carter.
Thank you, Mary. Boss, I had nothing to do with that. Yes, I did. Okay, moving right along here. There's a lot of folks that are very happy with what we're doing with the Healthy Rivers Initiative, and quite frankly, the governor's got a lot of awards that he never expected. One of the beneficiaries of this project has been the Wabash River Heritage Corridor Commission, and we're very honored to have Mayor Robert Shepard from Attica, who's actually the treasurer for the Wabash River Heritage Corridor Commission, who would like to come forward and give the governor a presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Until a few minutes ago, I had never thought of running for governor. But after seeing the fringe benefits, I'm considering it. No, seriously, I'm here today on behalf of Chairman John Gettinger and the Wabash River Heritage Corridor Commission. And I'm here really to present our Corridor Citizen Award. This award is given to each year to a person that has made a significant contribution to the river and to the enhancement of that river. I don't think that there's any question of the tremendous difference to the Wabash River and its significance to the people, not only of Indiana, but of the total nation. And at this time, I am deeply honored to present the 2012 Citizen Corridor Commission Award to Governor Daniels.
I feel very privileged to serve on a committee that meets once a month here in Terre Haute. The Riverscape Committee, they very passionate about what goes on here at the river and development of the river, promoting the river. It's chaired by John Munster, and we have a lot of members of the committee that the Mayor Bennett, I mentioned him before. I see Charlie Williams, Dr. Dan Bradley from ISU. But anyway, there's not a more grateful community than the community of Terre Haute and Vigo County for what the governor has done. With that, I want to introduce John Munster and Max Miller, who are on the Riverscape Committee. They've got a presentation for the governor as well.
Thank you very much, Rob. You know, Governor, January is going to be here before you know it. And we wanted to take this opportunity to thank Governor Daniels for being there for our project. He was one of the very first. We put together in excess of over $11 million and acquired over 7,000 acres on our own. Not on our own, we had a lot of help from grants and gifts and so on and so forth. But the governor was one of the very first who stepped up and came over and gave us a check for $285,000, which helped us kick off our part of what we were trying to do. Ultimately, we wound up with putting together over 7,000 acres and 19 miles of river frontage up and down right in this area right here. But it wasn't just that. Through NDOT, we were able to put together a bicycle and pedestrian walkway over the US 40 bridge. We are making improvements over at Dewey Point, and he has agreed that the state would pave that parking lot and build a gazebo. And so he's been there for us. And in the process of being there for us, it's one more example of your being here for the state people of the state of Indiana. So, we have a picture here of Paul Dresser and some of the original sheet music from On the Banks of the Wabash. And it says down at the bottom, "Thank you, Governor Daniels, for ensuring the moonlight's fair tonight along the Wabash for generations to come." And I would now like to introduce, there's a lot of people involved in the Riverscape project. We have a 28-person board. With everybody who's on our board, please raise your hand. We don't have a chance to introduce everybody, but it's a very good, very strong, very active board. We're divided into committees, one of which is the Wetlands Committee chaired by Max Miller. Max is, in reality, the godfather of the Wetlands Project. And Max also has a presentation for the governor. Max?
Yes, sir. Governor Mitch, need your attention. And I'm not going to kiss you either. It was mentioned a couple years ago, we got a call from Director Carter, Fish and Wildlife Director Mark Ryder. Where you at, Mark? Way in the back. And Deputy John Goss to come to the governor's office conference room. We were there, heard a brief presentation by the director and his staff. "What do you think?" was his question. No response. He was very disappointed. We were sitting around with our mouth open, and we had to close our mouth. We went around the second time, as you recall, Governor Mitch, and it gave a more appropriate response that you were looking for. But that first time, it caught us off guard. It did, didn't it? It did. Now, for your vision, it was mentioned by Jane, and for your leadership and for your incentive and encouragement and funds, we thought from Riverscape we ought to have some spatial presentation. Our Vigo County Park Superintendent, Keith Rubel, could not be here today. He's on another river activity. However, a lot of us know that he is an excellent wood carver, and he does all kinds of things with wood. First Financial Bank, Don Smith had a big cherry tree who went down in 2008 storm. He saved it, gave it to Keith, and for appropriate reasons, he says, do with this what you want in terms of your bowl making or whatever. So Keith has done that for you, Mayor Mitch, and I want to get this out. Governor Mitch, sorry, dude. It's okay. And when he put this together, I showed it to my grandson in the second grade. What is this, his name is Max too. I said, what is this, Max? He says, well, Granddad, that's the state of Indiana. A bowl. So I'm not going to quiz you, Governor. You know that's the state of Indiana. There's an appropriate message on the back of it engraved from Keith Rubel for thanking you, Governor, for all your attention to this activity over here.
I think I was remiss in not mentioning Nancy Rogers, who wrote a lot of the grant proposals for the fundraising that we were able to do. We never did believe in a million years that our 7,000 acres would grow to 43,000 acres and 93 miles of river frontage as presented by Governor Daniels. Governor Daniels, one more time, thank you for what you've done for the state of Indiana.
Thank you, John. Thank you, everyone. That concludes our event today. We've got some light refreshments over here under the shelter house. And we've also got DNR boats down here. We've done some electrofishing. They've got some demonstrations down there. We've got some biologists on hand that can tell you about the river and what this effort means. And we've also got DNR staff that should have a shirt or a hat on identifying themselves. So thank you very much.